Am I live? I think I am. Hi guys, this is Skylark24's Christmas Q&A and my very first live stream on YouTube. I'm not too sure what I'm doing here at the moment because I'm going through the basic way on Google Hangouts. So if there's any technical issues or anything, please, if anyone's out there, let me know so that I don't continue to make a fool of myself. Yes. So, without further ado, let's get to the questions. So we start at the very beginning because it's a very good place to start. So, Dangerous Dagger 21 asked, "Who was your favorite ride?" Excuse me. Who was your favorite video of 2017? And we're talking about kiddie rides. I'm presuming you mean somebody else's ride video rather than my own. I don't like to pick favourites between other people's videos, but there've definitely been some good videos this year of unusual rides which I'm unlikely to ever see. I think I'd have to say, oh, it's really hard. I don't want to choose between you. Probably either the Arcade Junkies videos from Dingles, although unfortunately Humpty Dumpty MKC Designs ride and prize wasn't working, so but that would be either Coco the Clown Train or the Bafco Veteran Car from Dingles, or possibly Tadge's Star Rides car, because those are all rides I'm unlikely to ever see. Unless I go back to Dingles, then I'll see those two. Or more recently, Amber the Fangirl uploaded the Taz Puntalone car. I tried to film one of those in Hailing Island a few weeks ago, but unfortunately that part of the fun fair was closed when I was there, so I didn't get to film it. So it was really nice to see that, brought back some childhood memories. Yeah, that was a long-winded answer to my first question. I better hurry up or I'm going to be here all day. So next, Demo Danger asked, "Do you like fish and chips?" I love chips. Absolutely love chips. Any kind of chips, French fries, from the nice big greasy chips that you get at the chip shop to the stick thin ones that you get at McDonald's. I absolutely love chips. Fish, no. I'm a vegetarian, so I've never, well, actually I accidentally ate fish at one point in my life. And I did actually like it, and it's a terrible thing to confess as a vegetarian. I liked it, and I was just saying how tasty it was, and then I realised what it was, and I was sick because of my vegetarianism. So I probably would like fish and chips, but as I am, I have to put up with vegetarian fish fingers. And that's the answer to that one. Then CLC1000 asked, "What is your childhood kiddie ride TV program of all time?" That's hard. That's a really hard one, because throughout my childhood, I had a lot of different favourite TV programs. And when I was 2 or 3, it was Play Days, Postman Pat, Spot the Dog, mainly BBC programs, from what I remember. And then later on in my childhood, I moved into Budgie the Little Helicopter and Jimbo and the Jet Set. They stayed favourites for a long time. When I was 6 or 7, yeah, I'm going through my whole childhood here. I liked Alvin and the Chipmunks and Alfred J. Quack, which is a Dutch program which no one's ever heard of. But it was a really nice cartoon. And then, of course, My Little Pony took over, as you can see over there. And I used to watch all the My Little Pony cartoons. I can see I've got a viewer. I can't see who you are. Don't know if you're one of my subscribers, and I also don't know how I see if anyone comments. So hopefully I'm not completely mute. It does say I'm recording sound. Favorite childhood kiddie ride? Again, that's hard because throughout my childhood it changed a lot. I mean, I have to say my own 2 horses, which currently in storage, so I can't show them to you. But I've got 2 Edwin Hall horses who used to be at Bognor Pier when I was a child. And one's called Carousel. Actually, she's not officially a kiddie ride. She was made by a German company called Friedrich Hein in the Victorian era, and Edwin Hall turned her into a kiddie ride in the 1950s. And I've also got Silver, who's a large Edwin Hall horse. So they're my favourites because they're mine. But as a kid, yeah, again, Budgie the Little Helicopter, Jimbo and the Jet Set, R.G. Mitchell, good R.G. Mitchell staples. They were my favourite rides. Playtime Car, we had Nello called Primark, and of course I couldn't not mention Jerry the Giraffe because he's the first ride I really remember, and he was outside the post office in Arran Road, and I got to ride on him if I was good after dinner every day. So definitely one of my favourite ride memories. Then Simpsons Clips 24 asked, have you ever heard of Phantom Cat? Now, I'm ashamed to say that I haven't. So I'm going to have to look that up after this video and find out. Hello, viewer number 2. No idea who you are again. Maybe I'll work that out for my next live stream. Have I ever heard of Phantom Cat? No, I haven't. And yet I feel I should have done. So I may have heard of it, I may have seen it at some point, but I don't know the first thing about it. So I'm going to look that up after this video. What would you say is the best kiddie ride you've ever filmed? Again, that's tricky. I've filmed so many hundreds of... Hello, viewer number 3. I'm surprised you're all on here on Christmas Day. You must be as bored as me. What would I say is the best kiddie ride I've ever filmed? Well, for me, it's always going to be the vintage stuff, which I know most of my viewers would not agree with. Arguably, my best kiddie ride video that I filmed is the Postman Pat at Merivale Model Village, because that's now had almost 100,000 views. So obviously other people think that's my best. I prefer all the stuff I've done, high definition, all that high definition stuff I've done in the last year or so. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, I love it if I manage to find a childhood kiddie ride that's still around and actually get a video of it. So I think one of the first rides I filmed was the Water Street's horse at Bispham in Blackpool, who I called Brownie when I was a child. And I'm so thrilled to get him on video. And the same with the Saucy Fru and Gabonella in Fleetwood. I mean, they were the earliest rides I filmed. I was thrilled to film those. In more recent times, it's anything vintage. If I manage to get Edwin Hall rides, Robinson Partners rides, don't get a lot of them sadly, but they're the rides that, to me, are special to film because there's not a lot of those left now. But as I say, I film even stuff that's been released right up to the present day because one day they're going to be the rare rides. And Simpsons Clips 24's third question was, have I ever seen Cosgrove's Hall's The BFG? Yes, I did. As a child, I watched that. My grandma recorded it for me on an old VHS tape. And we actually watched it one Christmas. I don't know how old I was. Yeah, because at that time I really liked Roald Dahl's books, and I hadn't seen anything televised film versions of the books. Can't really remember what I thought of it. But I do remember sitting and watching it with my grandma and really enjoying that Christmas. Nice Christmas memory. Ben Freeman asked, what toys did you have when you were a kid? Now that's another fun one, the My Little Ponies. Yeah, I suppose I was a bit of a collector maniac as a child. So I collected any little figures, Puppy in My Pockets, Polly Pocket, lots of very girly toys. But strangely enough, I went through a period when I was about 4 or 5 when I liked traditional boys' toys. And I had a toy garage, and I used to play with my toy cars, dinosaurs, Sonic the Hedgehog figurines. And they're some of the toys I remember best of all. But predominantly, as soon as I got to sort of 5 or 6, I stopped playing with those toys, and it all became very girly stuff. It's Puppy in My Pocket. Yeah, as I said, I've already said Puppy in My Pocket, Polly Pocket, My Beautiful Horses. Oh, I love My Beautiful Horses. Couldn't afford to go horse riding, so I used to saddle up the beautiful horses instead. I had the stable and everything. I think that's probably one of the only toys I've still got from when I was a kid. Still in my cupboard over there. Should dig them out and show them on the video. Yeah, so, and then my very favourite toy, I should mention, was I had a stuffed turtle who I called Colour. And there was a funny story behind why he was called Colour, because I won him at a fun fair. I won him at a fun fair on a hook a duck stand. And I was very proud of myself because I never won anything on hook a duck. And I remember the lady behind the stall said, "What prize do you want?" And she had all these turtles in different colours. And I pointed to the turquoise one. And she gave me the yellow one. And yellow was my least favourite colour when I was about 3. She didn't realise I pointed at a different turtle. And the next day I was sitting on the floor playing with my toys, and my mum said, "Don't you like your new turtle?" And he was sitting on the floor and he wasn't being played with the other stuffed toys. And I turned round and I said very bad-temperedly, "Colour." Because he was the wrong colour. And I felt bad. I felt I'd hurt his feelings. And after that, Colour became my favourite toy. And when my Kiddie Ride website is finally published, you will see Colour in most of the Kiddie Ride photographs. Colour went everywhere with me. He even got stolen at one point, and we had to chase a child down the road to get Colour back. Even though he was a toy I didn't want, he became my absolute favourite toy for about 5 years and went everywhere with me. So there's an interesting story about my childhood. Like a Record 85 asked, "What's your favourite video by me?" Now that's a tricky one again, but at least I don't have to choose between different people this time. My favourite video by you is probably the Thunderbirds puppet machine in real, because I didn't get to film that, so I was really thrilled to actually get to see what it did. But also I love your videos of Trevor the Rainbow Trout, because when I was a kid I really wanted one of them, and it's lovely to actually, I remember seeing, because it was Big Mouth Billy everywhere, and I had a Big Mouth Billy that my uncle gave me. My mum hated it, took the batteries out of it, and it mysteriously disappeared. But I really wanted a Trevor the Rainbow Trout, and I never got a Trevor the Rainbow Trout, and it's just lovely to actually see Trevor the Rainbow Trout in action in your videos. What's my favourite kiddie ride of all time? Well, I've already kind of gone over that, so. And how did I get into kiddie rides? Well, apparently I loved kiddie rides from when I was too small to remember. My mum tells me there was a silver car kiddie ride in our local Safeway supermarket. And I've got no recollection of this at all, but apparently I was under a year old. I couldn't even sit up properly. And I used to point at this car and stare at it every time we came out of the supermarket. And my granddad used to say, "She wants to go on it." And my mum said, she's too young. And as soon as I was able to sit up, my mum held me in the car and they put 20p in it and I had a ride. And sadly, I've got no photograph of that ride. because obviously my mum didn't have a camera at the time. She wasn't taking photos of rides anyway. But apparently I fell in love with this car and used to ride it every week. And apparently there was a steam engine ride, which might have been Whittaker Brothers, Puffin Billy or something, at our local park, because we had a little zoo in the park, and there was a train ride there, and I used to love that. But I've got no photographs and no recollection of these rides. If my mum didn't remember them, I wouldn't know. My earliest ride memory, as I've already mentioned, we had Jerry the Giraffe in R.G. Mitchell, Jerry the Giraffe, in the road where we lived, outside the post office. And my mum used to take me there after dinner every day to have a ride on Jerry the Giraffe. And then my mum saved up and bought a camera, and she wanted to try out the new camera. And the only thing she could think of to do was go and take a picture of me on Jerry the Giraffe. So she got my sister to come over the road with her, and the very first ride picture in my collection is a picture of me riding on Jerry the Giraffe with my sister standing behind me with her arm around me. So that's kind of how it started. And then after that, my mum decided it would be fun to see how many different rides we could photograph. And we started off with 10 or 20 that were around the shops near where we lived. And then we started going around the seaside resorts. So we ended up with 1,600 photographs. I became interested in rides that had disappeared from the arcades, wanted to know more about who made them and the history of rides in general, and here I am. Don't know how I got into filming kiddie rides. I think it started off as photographs, and then I thought I'll take a film of the My Little Pony ride because it combined two of my interests, and it was quite popular on YouTube, and I thought, well, maybe other people are interested, maybe this will get other people interested in rides. And I like to think I've set a trend, because I was one of the first filming rides on YouTube, and I seem to have got other people interested in it, so there you are. Then Amber the Fangirl asks, have you ever heard of Willow the Wisp? Yes, I've heard of Willow the Wisp. Can't remember what channel it used to come on. It was on one of the cable channels when I was a kid. It wasn't one of my favourite programmes, but I did watch it. I watched it a lot. Sadly, my mum never recorded it on any of the videos that I had as a kid, which is probably why it never became one of my favourite programmes, because I would watch my videos again and again, whereas stuff that was on the telly was easily forgotten. Once it had been on, I'd see it once, and yeah, that was the end of it. But I do remember Willow the Wisp. Liked Willow the Wisp. I like old everything. Old kiddie rides, old toys, old TV programs. I was born in the wrong decade. Would you ever walk around Chiswick and do a vlog for us? Yes, I would. I'm not sure what day I'd upload it because it doesn't fit in with the schedule, but consider doing that in the new year. Or maybe even before the new year if I can get my dad to drive me there. I know why you want me to film in Chiswick. I can even take a trip down the road for you if you like. Chiswick's boring. There's really not a lot there. It's a very snobby area. I've offended everyone in Chiswick now. No, I always think it's a lot of posh shops where I can't afford anything because I'm poor. There's not actually an awful lot there. I mean, Turnham Green. I like Turnham Green Station in that area, but it's not that interesting. I don't know a lot about the history. I'm going to have to look up the history of Chiswick and do a vlog about it. That's my new target. Not quite sure who else will watch it, Amber, but I will do it especially for you. And I'll take a look at arts educational schools as well, because it's where I wanted to go and study musical theatre all those years. So I will put that on the vlog as well, because it's just around the corner from the area you're interested in, as we've already discussed. And finally, are you excited to meet me when I come down to London? Yes, that's why I'm so excited. I just messed up my words. Yeah, I'm excited for the EAG, and I'm excited to meet you. I'm not sure which I'm more excited about. The idea of the EAG with other ride people is so exciting because usually I'm all on my own. So it would be lovely to just have somebody to walk around with. I did go with my friend Andy last year, and that was nice. But it'll be nice to go with other ride people. I think that's going to be the new thing every year, to find ride people to go with, so I don't feel like a complete idiot walking around on my own filming rides. Then Dangerous Dagger 21 asks, what inspired you to choose the name Skylark24? Well, Skylark is actually my real middle name. Yeah. My mum's a bird watcher, what can I say? My sister's middle name is Nightingale. My middle name is Skylark. Luckily, I like unusual names. I've actually stopped using my surname, so Skylark has kind of become my surname now, but it's not officially changed legally or anything, but one day. 24 is my favourite number. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. Everyone else has a single favourite number. I have a double-digit favourite number. And that's been the case since I was a little child. 24 was my favourite number. And I looked forward to being 24 years old. And I can tell you nothing special happened that year. Well, except that I met the love of my life who was unavailable. I'm not quite sure if there's some astrological meaning, I don't know, divine reason for why I liked number 24. Also, Dangerous Dagger 21 asked, can you listen to Scooter and Raven Trust Amateur Hour and put it at the end of the video? Well, I can definitely listen to it because I've got it open in another window. I can't put it at the end of this video because I'm not sure how to edit a live stream, but I may put it at the end of another video. I was just listening to it before I started this live stream. I actually really like it, which is unusual for me because I don't generally like that kind of music, that genre. I'm old-fashioned with my musical tastes, guys. I'm very old-fashioned in everything. So I will listen to it at the end of the video, especially for you, Dangerous Dagger. Chow772 Productions asks, have you ever seen the Dino Babies? Yes, I've seen Dino Babies. Dino Babies is one show that I actually know. I didn't see it at the time it was originally aired, but I remember them showing reruns. It must have been about 2005, 2006. And I actually taped some of it because some of my favourite voice actors were in the show. And I'm ashamed to say I can't remember who the cast are, but I know it was some of my favourite Western Canadian voice actors, some of whom did My Little Pony voices, Barbie movies, etc. Other stuff that I liked at the time. And so I insisted on watching Dino Babies, even though I was a teenager by that point. Have you ever seen Okie Doke? Yep, Okie Doke was one of my favourite childhood TV shows. I still remember the theme tune, and it gets stuck in my head, annoyingly, at the most random times. Have I ever seen Roger and the Rotten Trolls? That one? No. I probably have. I remember, I kind of know the name, but I don't think it was one that I watched a lot. I very briefly looked it up before I started this video, and just looking at it, it reminds me of another programme I used to watch called The Riddlers, which was also by Yorkshire Television. And I've got a feeling it was... I know you're the children's TV expert, Chal, so I think, was The Riddlers set in Yorkshire, or was it just... It might just be it was Yorkshire TV. I remember a lot of it was filmed around Whitby and Scarborough, so it probably was set in Yorkshire. It reminds me of that, just looking at it, but I'm going to have to look up Roger and the Rotten Trolls and actually watch an episode of it. That's what I'm trying to say. Then, TV Decorded, is that how I pronounce your name? Has commented, does Jolly Roger thank anyone for inserting their coin in? I guess you mean the sounds at the the announcements at the start of the ride. Well, Jolly Roger use stay more timers, don't they? So yeah. Is that the question? Am I missing the point of the question? Worst kiddie ride ever? Oh, I hate choosing worst kiddie rides ever. When I was a kid, I despised any imported rides, and that's a terrible thing to say. It makes me sound like I'm racist towards rides. But I just love the old British rides, and when we started importing stuff that was cheaply made from abroad, mainly Italy, it was, to me, it was horribly sad. But having said that, I did like a lot of Balgas rides as a kid anyway, so I like the big horses and the Derby horses and the Pony Express, Kogan's Pony Express. I did like some of the Italian stuff. I don't actually have a worst kiddie ride ever, but I have a type of ride I don't like. I don't like cheap looking Chinese and Polish knockoff rides. And I'm not keen on big, not so much Bigfoot. Bigfoot I've got nostalgia for, but I'm not keen on the larger rides like Crazy Wheels. To me, they're growing on me because they've been around so long now that they've become part of furniture. But as a child, to me, a traditional kiddie ride really is an animal that you rock backwards and forwards on for a minute while it plays a pretty tune. So when big rides started arriving from Italy and Spain, I wasn't keen on them. But yeah, that's not really answered your question, has it? It's just, I suppose anything like the Disney Cars knockoff rides. That helicopter I uploaded today, that Cooper Automati helicopter, not keen on that. But again, there's not one ride, it's just a type I don't like. Will I visit Skegness sometime in 2018? I hope so, because I didn't get round Skegness. Funnily enough, I went to Skegness twice this year. Went and stayed in Skegness twice this year, and I never actually got round all the arcades in Skegness. I never got down to the boating lake, where I know there's some older R.G. Mitchell rides, because it was closed when we were there. I didn't film some of the stuff on the pier, so yeah, I definitely want to go back to Skegness. I also didn't get around Mablethorpe, so I want to go back there. Although, looking at some of the videos people have taken recently, it looks like a lot of the stuff I wanted to film in Mablethorpe is gone. But yeah, I definitely want to go to Skegness this year. Well, next year, yeah. We're almost in 2018. I can't wait to be shot of 2017. Jack Hall asks, what's your favourite kiddie ride? Well, I think we've definitely gone over that one already. And we've decided I don't really have a favourite kiddie ride. I will say my favourite kiddie ride manufacturer is probably Edwin Hall, closely followed by R.G. Mitchell. But that's as far as I can really go. Have I seen Tractor Tom before? Do you mean the show or the kiddie ride? I've seen the kiddie ride. I've never watched Tractor Tom. I know the theme tune, but I've not watched Tractor Tom. What is my favourite Northern Leisure kiddie ride? I'm going to I'm going to upset people here. I don't know. That's I find it really hard to pick favourites. I really like all of Northern Leisure's rides. I like the original Humpty Dumpty seesaw with the little sit-on horses. I mean, I like Tractor Tom. I like the ignition key for the instead of a start button. I think that's really cool. What's my real favourite Northern Leisure ride? The stupid thing is, I've actually answered this question before on Facebook, and I can't remember what I said. I think I'll go with Ollie the Little White Van. And I don't know why I'm saying that. I think it's just because the theme tune gets stuck in my head, which is nothing to do with Northern Leisure anyway. But I think it's because it's a smaller, compact ride, It reminds me of rides of the olden days, and in that sense, I also like the fire engine and the police car that are made with the same mould, although I haven't seen them outside of the EAG yet, because we don't get a lot of Northern Leisure rides down here. What am I talking about? I tell you what my favourite Northern Leisure ride always has been, the swing boat. There you are. I've said so many different things. The swing boat is my favourite Northern Leisure ride. That's my final answer. And finally, Adam P asked, actually beyond the closing date, but I will answer you anyway. He was going to join me on here tonight, but I can't work out how to add a guest on here. Maybe I can't even do that. So, and I didn't know that you'd ask questions, but there you go. Asked, what is your perfect Christmas present? I don't know. I haven't had a Christmas present for so many years now. I don't know what my perfect Christmas present would be. I was actually having this discussion with a friend the other day, and I was saying it's been so long since I've had a present from anybody. I wouldn't know what to ask for. I'd probably ask for a Lush bath bomb or something, a Lush bubble bar, because I love anything from Lush, or something from Boots Soap and Glory range, or a new necklace, because this is the only necklace that I actually have left now, because all my necklaces are broken. There you are. That's what I'd ask for Christmas. But my perfect Christmas present would be to be with the person I love on Christmas Day and get to spend time with him. Which is not going to happen, but. What ride would you like to film most? What, of existing rides? Or you mean, sorry, I completely zoned out there. What ride would I like to film most? Of what? So can this be a fantasy land where any ride is still around? Because if I could film any ride in the world that has ever existed, it's going to be something that doesn't exist anymore. Because I'd love to see how things used to move back in the 50s, because there were different ride motions that I've never actually seen. I mean, if I could film anything in the world, I'd actually like to go back to Bognor Pier and film Carousel and Silver when they still worked. And I'd love to see I'd love anything. I would give anything to see a film of my two horses working. If I rides that are still around, I suppose at the moment I don't seem to have much luck filming R.G. Mitchell Hanks vans. I've ended up with an ice cream van that's mute. I've not found the hot dog van at all. I found the storyteller van at a Tesco that's slightly further away from us, and it never works when I go to film it. So yeah, I'll go with Hanks vans. But ride I'd actually like to film most, I'd like to go right back to the 50s and film very early Edwin Hall stuff. Maybe when it still had record players inside that actually worked, and know what what music they used to play, because I actually have no idea what music the rides used to play in those days. And finally, do you prefer Unicorn or Pegasus My Little Ponies? Pegasus. Having said that, my favourite G for My Little Pony is Rarity. So kind of unicorns in, I think I would say Pegasus in G1, Pegasus in G1 to G3, to G2 and G3, Unicorn G4. Random, but yeah. But outside of My Little Pony, I love anything unicorn based. So, like the snow globe. There's a snow globe in New Look that we were looking at a couple of weeks ago, and I fell in love with it because it got this little silver unicorn inside. And I love pretty silvery things that are shaped like unicorns. And that takes us to the end of all the questions that were asked on this video. I've no idea if I could have been receiving comments on this. Or in fact, if I have been, which is going to be really embarrassing, because I've got no clue how I'm supposed to see comments on here. Is there any way that people can comment? I don't know. I know people are online. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I can't see that there's any way that you can contact me. So if I'm ignoring people, I apologise, because I'll probably see you've got comments on afterwards. It's really weird. It's saying resume hangout on air. Does that mean that I've cut off? Because it's still saying I've got 7 viewers. That's so odd. Yeah, so thank you to everybody who has tuned in tonight. I actually wasn't expecting to get any viewers tonight. Thanks to those who asked questions. If there is a way that you've been able to talk to me live and I've not been able to see it, I apologise. I'm going to play out to this song that Dangerous Dagger asked me to play out to. I'm not sure if this is the version that you were even talking about, but I actually really like this. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas and that you enjoy the last few days of 2017 and that 2018 is a fantastic year for you. I may be doing another live stream before that. We'll see. I have no idea what the future holds for Skylark24, but thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again on another live stream very soon.